Hello and welcome to Top Sim. My name is William Lebowski, and today we are back with another North American Sim Racing Series league race. It is my second race. We joined midway through the season, but I didn't really get settled in and get really comfortable until about midway through the race. There was a lot of chaos that needed to be overcome, shall we say, in order to have success both in this race. And I met some, I guess we can call bad luck with that, both during the race, and it was also one of those races where I didn't get, I was rushing to make it in time for the start and for the driver's briefing and for qualifying and everything like that, and as a result of that, I didn't get settled in coming into the race, and so I never quite felt ready to go properly by race time. I felt a little rushed, and then when it came to this race start, it was pretty chaotic. And so in order to have success at this race, you needed to overcome that chaos. And you can see already we've had some first lap trouble up ahead of us. We've had some more chaos coming. I don't want to spoil anything, but you can see that this group of cars is also, finding their groove as well, and that really made it a different challenge. This race already had its own challenges, statistically speaking, as it is an hour and 20 minutes instead of something like an hour race. So that extra 20 minutes really makes you challenge your concentration for that amount of time. It is a night race, so obviously your visual cues and visuals get a little bit harder to see. And thirdly, because it is night, it's going to be colder. I actually was practicing and set the car up for a little bit colder conditions than we actually got to experience. The conditions that I was prepared for were so cold that the brakes would get all the way down to the dark blue, but on long straightaways. So even just the distance that the straightaway, I forget the name, that we just came off of, heading now and up into the finish straight, that straightaway was long enough to make the brakes go completely cold, like you're seeing them at the rears right now. That being said, the race, I don't know if it was just because there was more cars on track or if it was I was in more hot, dirty air from the cars in front of me, but I did not have the trouble with the temperatures in the actual race itself. And luckily enough, it did allow me to keep my temperatures ideal. Here we have this Lamborghini in front of us. No, it's a Ferrari with the Lamborghini colors. This Lamborghini in front of us caused a lot. I did it again. This Ferrari in front of us caused a lot of problems for us. I actually even edited out some of the issues they had. We are not racing them. They are already a lap down. We're not even 10 minutes into this race. They already have been lapped. They're about to get lapped again, so I assume they got caught up in some trouble, but they're just not letting the space through, and I think I cut it off, but they also came back to pass me at a different spot, and here is my mistake. I made a mistake here, but I do catch it, but this guy coming in like a hero and just taking me out. So this is a rookie race, a rookie series. You can't always sometimes this shit will happen, right, when you're doing a rookie series. And so the only thing you can do about it is have the memory of the goldfish. You need to not let it bother you. You need to get back on track. You need to get racing as soon as possible. One of the things that I really not enjoyed might be the wrong term, but one of the things I really enjoyed taking advantage of, I guess is better maybe phrasing, was that in ACC I don't have to worry about flat spots like I do in R Factor 2, and so luckily I could just keep driving after that incident. But you can see that Ferrari was off track ahead of us and caused some sort of incident back here, and there was really nowhere for me to go there. Huge damage here, made a pretty unsafe rejoin, really unhappy about that, but I had much little car control than I expected, and quite frankly, I thought I was telling my car to stay off the track, or at least to the very right side of the road, but the steering was so offset that it just went directly left. Luckily, though, I knew we should not have pit after being spun in Maggots and Beckett's, because I knew that there was going to be something. The race just had that chaotic feel to it. I knew that something was going to happen, and so luckily we were able to use our pit stop there to get our mandatory pit stop done, as well as repair that damage, and it wasn't a ton of time lost in the pits there, so a little bit of an undercut going, but following that pit stop, it really took us off the cycle, and as you can see, we've only gained a few positions in the hour-ish that we have spent racing in there, and that's because we spent a lot of the time alone after getting knocked off the cycle, both from being knocked in Maggots and Beckett's and then having that incident that we just got involved in most recently. So we spent a lot of that race alone and just chasing down lost time. Here, as we get into the final few minutes, it does start to cook up. You can will see me gain positions driving by the pits because people had decided, I don't know if it was an accident that happened late in the race that I just didn't see or wasn't aware of because it happened up the road from me, or if it was people that decided to go with the way long overcut in making their pit stop in the final few minutes of the pit window. But yeah, either way, there were passes to be made right at the end that I didn't necessarily expect to be available to me. But now here we are within these final 2 minutes, and right now you cannot see it because my face is blocking it, but I have been chasing down 22nd position for a very long time. We started 28th. That's where we qualified. I felt like I was capable of squeezing more time out, but we just didn't get to make it happen. And if you can't make it happen, you can't do it, right? You can't. It's one of those things where it's like it was just so close I could taste it, but that doesn't mean I can claim it. And so I felt like I could have done better in qualifying, which is to say, especially compared to the same field at Watkins Glen in the rain, I qualified much higher. Well, I guess I didn't qualify much higher. I qualified 25th, so just a few positions higher. But anyway, my point is to say I felt like I had more time I could have squeezed out in qualifying for a better position. But here we are making it up on track, still finishing higher than we had qualified, from 28th now, looking for 22nd at 23rd. And here's some of again, you cannot see these guys' positions, but these guys are fighting for a podium. And I accidentally got a little bit more close there than on that entry than I wanted to. But these guys were fighting for 3rd and 4th, I believe, or just 3rd, rather, I should say. So it was nice to let them by. Lapped cars and lapped traffic and letting the leaders by was a bigger problem in this field than I would have assumed, and that's because they race really well. This is a much faster group of guys than I would have anticipated for a rookie league. There's also a much more knowledgeable and experienced and polite group of guys than I would have ever imagined are jumping into a rookie series, but there were moments where you could just see that it is a rookie series, and it wasn't, a lot of times people are dicks and ignore blue flags, but in this situation you could definitely tell it was just a lack of experience, I would say. Although that Ferrari from earlier, that green Ferrari from earlier, not exactly sure what they were doing. I don't know. It just seemed like one of those things where you shouldn't be doing some of those things, or if you don't know it, I don't exactly know how you jumped in. How you found Sim Racing GP before you found out that you shouldn't run into the rear end of cars. Anyway, a little bit side tangent. My whole point being is this group of rookies is incredibly fast, incredibly good, incredibly experienced, incredibly nice, incredibly welcoming and community based. But the one thing that I think that could be improved is blue flag behavior and behavior of lapped cars. I jumped into endurance racing really before I jumped into really anything else, and so for me, being a lapped car is a little bit more ingrained in me. I'm not I am going to be upset about losing time as well as potentially seconds. You can lose from letting the leaders go through, but when you're talking about the leaders race and you're being lapped, there's huge perspective loss when people assume that, oh, I can't lose a few seconds here. But it's like, dude, you're literally being lapped. The seconds are over. Just let it go. But here we have 21st position. I thought we were fighting for 22nd position in the end. I don't know if his car was damaged and not able to make that corner at speed or accelerate out of that corner at speed. But right at the last moment, for better or for worse, we take 21st over the line, started 28th. I felt like we could have had a little bit more speed throughout the race, but looking forward to Suzuka next round. We'll see you in the next one. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it, and we'll see you in Japan next week. Well, not next week. Week off for Thanksgiving. See you the week after next.